This is very embarrassing. This is a mess. What's this?
And Steve and Todd, will you guys stand up?
Hey, Charles, Will, Scott, come here real quick. Last analogy, we going home.
I'm going to give you an illustration. Let's say that I say to these three men, I'm going to go away for a while. And I've provided for Debbie, but I want to provide some additional funds for her. But I want to channel or funnel those funds through you three men. So I'm going to send each of you $10,000 a month, okay? Jason, don't get that excited. This is just an illustration. Okay.
Let's say I'm going on a trip, and I'm gonna be gone for an extended period of time. Y'all come right here. I'm gonna be gone for an extended period of time, and I want to provide for Natalie, my wife, and I'm taking care of her, but I want to provide some extra finances just in case she gets in a spot. And I'm gonna give each one of y'all $10,000 every. Hold on, it's just an example, okay? Just an example. Scott, calm down.
So, I'm talking to Debbie Everett, and I say it to you, but I want you to give Debbie 10% of it, $1,000 a month, and you can keep the 90%. Just give my wife 10%. So I'm talking to Debbie every day and letting her know, it's an extended trip, but I'll be back in several months. I have to be gone. And after about 3 months, I think about these other funds, and I say, hey, how are the funds coming in from the three guys? And she said, well, Jason sends $1,000 a month. Just like you said, as a matter of fact, it arrives like January 1st, February 1st. I mean, he's like clockwork. It's $1,000, so good job, okay?
I'm gonna provide $10,000 extra for her through all of you, and all I want you to do is give her $1,000 each time I send you the $10,000. The other 9, you can keep. You can do whatever you want to do with it, but I just want to give you that money, okay? And what if I talk to my wife every night? What's up, baby? How you doing? Oh, I miss you. Caking. Y'all remember caking? Okay, cool. So I'm talking to her, and I'm like, hey, you remember those finances that I was gonna have Charles and Will and Scott give to you? How's it been going? And she's like, yeah, so Charles sends $1,000 every 1st and 15th, like clockwork. It's like $1,000, $1,000, like it just keeps coming. I'm like, okay, that bet.
I said, well, what about Steve? She said, well, Steve is sending $2,000 a month. I said, $2,000 a month? I didn't ask him for $2,000 a month. I just asked him for $1,000 a month. I know. I said, well, why is he sending I don't know. He just sends $2,000 a month.
I said, what about Will? Will, for some reason, sends $2,000. I was like, what? I was like, I just told him to send $1,000. I know, but every 1st and 15th, he sends $2,000. And it's just been consistent all over.
I said, well, what about Trader? Todd, sorry. Todd. I said, what about Todd? She said, well, we need to talk about Todd. I said, well, why? What's Todd doing? Well, the first month he sent $700. The second month, $400. And this last month, he didn't send anything.
And I was like, okay, so what about the thief? I mean, what about Scott? And he said, well, let's talk about Scott for a second. She said the first time he sent $700. The second time he sent $5. And this last month he didn't send anything. And I say, what? Scott didn't send nothing this last month? She said nothing. I said, but I gave him the $10,000.
Okay, now I want you to think about this. Think about this. How do you think that makes me feel? And I'm giving him the $10,000. It's coming from me. And I just asked him for 10% for my wife. He can keep the 90%. Okay, what do you think I'm going to do? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to send him any more money because he's proven to me he can't be trusted. And I'm going to take what I'm giving him and I'm going to give it to Steve and Jason because they've proven they can be trusted.
Who would I stop sending resources to?
You're not a bad person if you don't tithe. You're not a bad person.
watch this. Not because he's a bad person.
Yeah, yeah.
It's because he didn't do what I asked to be done with the resources.
Okay, listen to me very carefully. Tithing might be more personal to Jesus than what you thought.
Could it be said that tithing may be more personal to Jesus than we think?
He has the power. And if you say, well, I can't believe you just take it away and give it to the others. If you don't think Jesus would do that, read the parable of the talents. When he took from the one that wasn't faithful and gave it to the one who was faithful. He wants to provide for you. But why would he provide and bless people who will not even be concerned about his wife? It's a test, and it's very important we pass this test.
And if you don't believe that's real, go study the parable of the talents.
Yeah, yeah.
Where God literally took from the one who did not do what he asked him to do, and he gave it to the ones who weren't. Now listen to me. This is an example of me trying to provide for my bride.
Yeah.
But Jesus calls the church.
Let me just to remind you, is the church the bride of Christ?
His bride.
And I've got to tell you, I was just going to read it to you and then tell you, but I've got to tell you so you can see it as we read the passage and not think about the old legalistic way that it's presented many times. When I say don't rob God, I don't mean by you keep your tithe and your tithe belongs to him and so you're robbing God of money. I actually don't think that's what this means. I personally don't think that God needs our money. Do you? I don't think he does. Here's what I think he's trying to say in Malachi 3, and this is what I'm saying in this message. And you could even put it after the 3 words, don't rob God, if you want. Don't rob God of an opportunity to bless you.
And a lot of churches, and I want to apologize, they really, really do a disservice to this because they misinterpret the heart of God on the tithe. And I'm going to expose where it gets misinterpreted, and I want to give Transformation Church, who is the key to the rise of a holy rebellion, I'm going to give us the actual right interpretation. Malachi 3, okay? We've heard this in almost every offering time ever. Will a man rob God? How do you rob God? In tithe and offering. So don't rob God. Give your tithe and your offering.
Why are they even using scriptures that is not even the same with the lies that they're making up? Why are they doing this? They always want to stay in limelight. They always want to stay firm. They always want to stay lying. If you go to a lot of these prosperity preachers, Benny Hinn, every one of them, Cliff Lodora, they all will use this same lying manipulation formula just to keep on spreading. At this time, God is still exposing their madness.